Good evening, everybody. Live streaming's started and we'll commence the meeting. There's no fire alarm planned for this evening. Should the alarm sound, please leave by the nearest available emergency exit. There are two exits are through the glass door behind you to my left and through the double doors onto the riverside behind you. Please do not use the exit at the back to my right, as access is currently restricted by the works outside. Please meet at the Tower House car park, which is on that side. Members of the public are welcome to make their own recordings of the meeting using whatever non-disruptive methods they think are suitable. I would like to remind everyone present the meeting is being minuted, recorded, filmed and made available to view in live and archive form via the Council's website. If you're seated in the public gallery, it's possible the cameras may capture your image. If you wish to avoid being filmed, it's recommended you make a member of staff aware who can direct you to where to sit. The Westgate Garden gates on the riverside are locked, so members of the public must leave the Guildhall by the side exit behind the glass door. Apologies. John, would you like to read the apologies? Thank you.
Yes, we have apologies from Councillors Keith Boswell and Beth Forrester, Chair.
Thank you. Do we have any substitutes?
There are no substitutes.
Thank you very much. Declarations of interest by councillors or officers. John, could you read the generic declaration for everybody, please? Thank you.
All or some councillors may have received correspondence from or spoken with applicants, agents, supporters or objectors, and some of the public speakers may also be known to members of the committee due to their work as councillors. Neither circumstance prevents councillors from participating in the meeting. However, any councillor who considers that they do not have an open mind in respect of any item on the agenda should not participate in the meeting when the relevant item is to be discussed.
Are there any other interests to be declared? Councillor Jones.
Just, I'm one of the ward councillors for Herne and Broomfield, and I remain open-minded. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? No, that's fine. Thank you. There's one public speaker tonight who will be heard immediately after the officer's presentation under the main item. Thank you. Please can we look at the minutes of the Planning Committee of the 8th of July and the 22nd of July. If we're happy to confirm as general assent, we can deal with them that way. Is everybody happy? Fine. Thank you very much, everybody. They're agreed, John, by general assent. We move on to the main application for tonight. Number 6 on the agenda, application number CA 24-01903. North of Bullockstone Road, Canterbury Roundabout, south of Thanet Way, Herne Bay. Could I ask Stevie Andrews to present the report? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So, evening, members. So this is an application for 16 dwellings, and it also includes the provision of 5 affordable homes. Members will remember from last month that the application was reported to the Planning Committee for a decision, as the application was recommended for approval by officers, but it was reported to the Planning Committee because it represented a departure from the local plan. So members resolved to defer the application at the last meeting for officers to review the relationship of the dwellings fronting the site with the road and also with the wider dwellings on the wider site, but also looking at the loss of the fencing that runs along the roundabout as well. So attached to your report, you will have a copy of the original site layout that members considered at the last meeting. And I'm displaying here the revised layout, so you'll be able to see the differences. The differences are focused around the dwellings at the front of the site, so you see the 5 units at the front. Originally, they were closer to the road and they were fronting the road as well. But these dwellings have now been reorientated so they face the central open space element within the site like the other dwellings do. And they've also been set further back from the road as well. And also the acoustic fencing that exists along the road is also being retained as part of the development. So here we've got some visuals. Hopefully they're clear, but I'll run through each visual. So the one on the top left That's on approach to the site from the south along Canterbury Road. So you can see the roundabout, and the proposed dwellings are set behind the roundabout. So that's the top left figure. So the top right, you can see the proposed access. So this is on approach from the west, from Long Canterbury Road, and you can see the proposed access and the dwellings that have been reorientated at the front of the site. The middle left, those are the dwellings that are at the end of the internal access road, and you can see the existing fence, the acoustic fence in the distance, and plot 11 at the end. That's the plot that's nearest to Bullockston Road. We've got the middle right, and that is as you access the site from the proposed access, and you can see an image of the dwellings that are just on the right as you will enter the site. The bottom left, these are the dwellings that have been reorientated, and you can see here that they face towards the central open space area. And this is the same with the bottom right image as well. You can see the reorientation so that all the dwellings within the site face onto that central open space. So here's a video. I thought it'd be useful to run through this again with members, and what I'll do is I'll talk through the video to show what it's actually showing members. So I will start the video now. So we are walking along Bullockston Road towards the roundabout, so from the west towards the roundabout, and the application site is on the left-hand side. This is an existing access that runs along the side of the site, and you can see the adjoining woodland in the distance that falls outside of the application site. So we're walking back towards Bullockston Road, and this is the access I was referring to that runs along the side of the application site. And then back onto Bullockston Road, heading south towards the roundabout. So obviously Bullockston Road, that leads you to Bullockston, Green Hill. And we've got Canterbury Road on the opposite side as well, which takes you to Herne and Herne Bay, with the application site on the left-hand side. And this is the acoustic fencing that members were interested in at the last committee, and that's being retained, with the dwellings a further distance from that fencing looking inwards towards the site, as per the other proposed dwellings within the site. That's it. And that video run through went much smoother than last time. Yeah. So I hope that was helpful to members. So yes, for the reasons set out in the report, the application is recommended for approval, subject to safeguarding conditions and the completion of a legal agreement. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Stevie. Could I now ask our one speaker, Simon Dyson, to come forward, please? You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Well, thank you for letting me speak. I wanted to give a point of view of someone that lives very, very close to the roundabout and where the new dwellings are going to be. I moved into a house which is just down. There's a bus stop. It's about 150 yards from the roundabout, about 2012. So I was there for quite a few years before the roundabout was built, while it was being built, and obviously afterwards. Sort of 3 years after moving in, I read an article in the local newspaper that it was described as Canterbury Road was the most dangerous road in Kent. It was front page news, which I'm sure everybody here has seen. And there was a photograph of a police car, and traffic was cordoned off, and my house was actually in the background. Now, since the roundabout has been built, it's sorted the problem of cars coming down from Canterbury, going round the corner and going down into Herne. So many cars didn't realise how sharp the bend was and went off. And I spoke to someone that used to live at at Furwood, who was in charge of replacing the fencing, and they were absolutely fed up with it. And the roundabout has sorted that problem up to a point. Cars still exit the roundabout. They go very fast. I work from home. I'm a journalist, and my office is at the front of the house. And as I say, I'm opposite a bus stop. And when buses stop there, the amount of car horns that I can hear every day from cars either swerving round a bus, annoyed that they've got to stop, not giving cars coming the other way enough time. You're never going to solve that problem. And obviously that's not what we're debating tonight. But it's a problem that there are a lot of dangerous drivers around that area. And what's happened is, I mean, interestingly enough, last November, there was an accident right outside my house. Somebody went into the back of someone else. Somebody was slowing down for the roundabout. Somebody crashed into the back of them. It wasn't a serious accident, but it's just sort of evidence that accidents still do happen around there, and there are plenty of bad drivers. Now, instead of cars going round the corner and going down into Herne Village at speed, they now go round the corner and go down Bullockston Road. Not everyone, obviously. It's only sort of 1 or 2 out of sort of every 100. But the problem is, when you have an access point to the new development that is 20 yards from the roundabout, and visibility of a car waiting to turn right into the development, there's not going to be enough time. And it's an accident. It's not an accident waiting to happen. It's an accident that is definitely going to happen, because you don't have enough time from being able to see a car that's going to turn into the new development and having time to stop. Now,
Could you wind up, please? You've had
yes,
3
I'm
minutes.
just going to be very, very quickly. The problem is the Relief Road and the amount of houses down at the bottom of Bullockston Road, the amount of traffic that's coming up Bullockston Road is going to increase massively. So if the development gets the go-ahead, there's going to be...
Sorry, you do have to stop.
Yes,
It's
just
3 minutes.
2 seconds. I'm ever so sorry.
No, you have to
There's
stop.
going to be a
Sorry.
queue of cars. There's going to
Sorry.
be... Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm afraid there's plenty of accidents that are just waiting to happen.
Thank you. I'd like to propose the officer's recommendation, and I do that with the caveat, as I often do, that I will wait until I've heard the debate before I make up my mind, but we do need a proposal to debate. The recommendation is that authorisation be given to the head of planning to grant planning permission, subject to a 106 legal agreement, to secure the obligations set out in this report and the imposition of the safeguarding conditions as recommended in the report. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that, Chair.
Councillor Mackenzie, thank you very much. Thank you. So could I open this up for debate? We were all here, obviously, well, I think everybody who's here today was here then. So you remember the discussion that we had. And obviously you can see the changes, which are really good in terms of the orientation of the houses and keeping the fencing. And obviously we've heard one speaker today, and we've got the debate in our minds from last time. I do have all the papers from last time. Obviously other people can look them up, but I do have it in front of me as well, and Stevie can look things up if we need to be reminded. But I think, we have the minutes from the planning meeting as well in our pack today, so hopefully that will be sufficient. Could I invite any first comments, please? Sir Jones and then Councillor Naomi Smith.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, thank you for the report, which I personally welcome the rotation of the properties. Is one of the things with other members flagged up last time, so that we have inclusion on the site. And in my opinion, everything what is going to that site uses the service road, so there's no immediate people parking on there causing a traffic problem. So I welcome that. And having listened to the speaker, I know the area very well. I only live around the corner, and there are concerns about that. My personal concern is the bus stop, which would be just to the left of the immediate entrance. Obviously, when the bus stops, you can't see round the bus with cars coming up towards the roundabout until it's actually gone. I was only informed till recently that that's a fairly new addition, that bus stop to the area. I think it's there's one further down past what's called St Martin's Old Hospital, which is a shelter, but the one which would be just left to this site is, I think it's been a regular bus user informed me, because I have to sadly admit I hardly use bus. However, informed me that it's been there around about a year or something like that. So just wondering why that was put there in that instance for that reason, but it's there nonetheless. The speaker made a valid point about the traffic, and it will only increase. And again, coming towards the roundabout and turning right into the site, again, you know, if people adhere to the rules of the road, then obviously there wouldn't be an issue. So on that side of things, obviously I've got concerns. That's why I wanted to raise them. But I'm very pleased to see that this committee was listened to regarding the issues, well, I personally had on the housing regarding the rotation, so to make it a safer and better access, and those affordable housing will be part of that, like a state. So that's basically where I am at the moment. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Naomi Smith.
Thank you. I don't live in Herne, but I do use the road quite often. And during the build further down where the new roundabout layout is, when they were building that site, on many occasions there were lorries parked up on the main road, causing quite considerable backup. So can we make sure in the SEMP that they don't park on the road? And looking at the bus stop, where that bus stop is, it may need some attention because it is very close to where the proposed entrance is to this development, and it could be problematic because you can see, I've just looked it up on Google, and could we just have a look, maybe look at how that works? But I am pleased that we've got the orientation right as well. Thank you.
Councillor Ian Stockley.
Thank you, Chair. I'm delighted. I got a bit agitated the last time this came before us. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the reorientation. I am conflicted with the density of this development. This is a very sparse development in terms of land usage. I'm conflicted because I personally would like to live there. But, you know, the way these properties are laid out, we could have got a lot more houses on this piece of land, but I agreed it's not our decision to make. But I'm also pleased that we've got a smaller development rather than the huge developments we've had recently. So yes, I think all considered, I can support this development. Thank you.
Are there any other, Councillor Thomas? Oh, and Councillor Prentice. Councillor Thomas first.
Thank you, Chair. I've got a question. On the plans that you showed us up earlier, after the acoustic fence on the other side of the acoustic fencing, is there trees, avenue of trees going in there, or is it just a circle for something else?
Yes, the layout plan does show some opportunity for some landscaping to be included, but that would be sat behind the fence. It wouldn't be in front. The fence would be retained, and then any possible landscaping would be set behind that fence.
Sorry, but are they going to be trees? The reason I'm saying that is if, God forsake, there is a crash, and we have had some serious crashes, but since it's been altered, I don't think we've had any serious crashes since the roundabout's been put in, which was one of the main reasons I was supportive of the Bullockston Relief Road, because that would alter that roundabout. And it as far as I'm aware, it has helped, or if not solved, a serious accident. What I'm concerned about is if someone did happen to go into the fencing and someone's in the garden, if there's a tree, they can hit the tree before they hit a person. But if it's just landscaping, it's again, it depends on the size of the trees. That's just a safety thing that I'm thinking of. When I saw the avenue of trees or a row of trees, it kind of backed my fear up of something actually being hit in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So yes, the layout doesn't suggest they will be trees, but we have attached a condition. It's condition 12, so that will require details of the landscaping to come forward. So that's something we will bear in mind when we look at that detail coming forward.
Councillor Prentice.
Thank you, Chair. First question was, how high is the acoustic fencing that's there currently? I couldn't see that in the paper. And it was just another point, really, was just to ensure that whatever decision we make on this tonight, and I am in favour of this, so I will be voting for it. But whatever decision we do make as a committee, could we just ensure that the correct block plan is uploaded? Because on our papers, it's different to the one that's actually on the portal. It's quite easy to miss because they do look quite similar from afar. So just to ensure that for the record, the correct one is uploaded. Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, the amended plans are on the website, yes, but the original layout was attached to the papers.
Yeah, it's just for the minutes, really, more than anything.
And the approved plans condition that does list the correct updated
Thank
layout
you.
plan.
Remember, we've got detail of that in this report, and that's what we're approving rather than the previous report. So, Councillor Dan Smith.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I wonder if we could just ask Stevie to take us through the access points on the road to this development, given what the speaker said, just to illustrate why I think that's not a problem, but it would be helpful if we could all have a look at that. And as a secondary point, I think just a confirmation of the reason why the social housing, the 12 to 16, I think it is, are clumped together. I think there's a good reason for that, as I understand, but it would be helpful for everyone to know it. Thank you.
Yes, Stevie will answer both of those questions, and I might add something. We'll see.
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, we consulted Kent Highways on the plans, and as part of the application, a transport assessment was submitted with it. So it didn't just look at the potential number of vehicle movements from the site, it also looked at, there was speed survey information, there was some consideration in terms of the visibility displays that were required from the access to ensure that there was safe access and egress out of the site as well. And KCC Highways raised no objection to that, so they had no concerns in terms of the use of the access and highway safety. In terms of the affordable housing, so yes, like the remainder of the houses that are proposed as part of the application, they are now all facing inwards towards the open space that's provided centrally within the site. You have got the I think it's a terrace of three and a pair together. So yeah, they've been reorientated into the site. But generally, registered providers, in terms of from a maintenance and management perspective, they do like to see affordable housing units in small clusters together because it makes it more manageable from a maintenance perspective. And this is quite a small scale site, so it is very difficult to pepper pot, so to speak, because it's 16 dwellings. But because of the reorientation, because the material palette is going to be consistent throughout the development, officers feel that there is a good balance that's been struck there, and that the quality is going to be maintained and be consistent throughout the development.
I don't need to add anything unless there are any other questions. In that case, Councillor Stockley.
All right, just to, I think Robert Jones mentioned on the last occasion that any footpaths are to be metalled rather than left as type 1, which has happened in some developments.
We think that's happening, but we're just trying to check if we have got that. I think we should be asking for this on every site. I think that's the message back to planning officers, because obviously we know that we want people to be cycling. It needs to be good for wheelchairs, everything else. So just let's hold on.
Thank you, Chair. So condition 12, we've required details of a landscaping plan using native planting if members wanted that condition to be tweaked to include hard and soft landscaping as part of their resolution, then that's something we can certainly include. So that would be condition 12, adding hard and soft landscaping to the requirement of that condition.
I think we have discussed this now on several sites. I want us probably to permanently just make sure this is in every application. I remember it was Pope's Lane, wasn't it, we were talking about? That's another important one where you've got really good routes through, but they've got to be properly surfaced, otherwise they'll fall apart. So if there's no other comments, the recommendation is to agree the officer's recommendation, which I'll read you again in just a second, with that minor change to 12, which is, where do we have it? The
Hard and soft landscaping plan.
So it's in the first sentence, granted a hard and soft landscaping plan, etc., was the amendment. So with that amendment, the recommendation reads, authorisation be given to the head of planning to grant planning permission subject to a section 106 agreement to secure the obligations set out in the report and the imposition of safeguarding conditions as recommended in the report. I've got a seconder, Councillor Mackenzie, and John, could we move to the vote? A vote in favour is a vote to grant this recommendation, this application. Thank you.
Okay, that is carried. It's unanimous.
Thank you very much, everybody. That's excellent. Can we just move on to just comment, if we wish to, on the planning appeals report? That's pages 27 to 36, item 7 on the agenda. Stevie, Andrews, do you want to add any comments to this one?
Yes, it was just to draw members' attention to, we've got no page numbers on here, the appeal decision at land adjacent to Dargate Road in Yorklets. There were two appeals that were very close together that were considered at the same time by the same inspector. Just to flag with members that the inspector concluded that it wasn't a suitable location for housing. And that was because of the limited accessibility to nearby services and facilities by any other means other than by car. So I just wanted to flag that one with members, but the rest is pretty self-explanatory. So no further comment from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Naomi Smith.
Yeah, I just wanted to pick up on this land south of, because we've had this really perverse decision to allow 8 South build in Dargate in Yorklets that went to appeal, and that was won at appeal by somebody who's got a better barrister, I guess. It just seems quite, people who live there are absolutely flummoxed about how planning works, and this is beyond, our ken, and it just shows an example of how difficult it is for residents to feel that planning works for them, because so we've had this is about the 4th one that's been refused, isn't it, within a year or so, whereas the other one has gone ahead. And there are some in the system as well that I wouldn't mind talking to one of the planners about. Thank you.
Are there any other observations on the planning appeals report? So can we note that by general assent then, everybody? Thank you very much. We haven't got any urgent business to be dealt with in public, and we've got no other business which falls under exempt provisions. So I conclude the meeting for this evening. Thank you very much.